This episode took a turn that I did not really expect, and I think it's actually kind of obvious now that I think about it, but I didn't think about it, and I think many are probably on the same page as I am, that Tanjiro carrying around, Nezuko is going to lead into some very complicated situations, especially with the Demon Corps, because you see, their job is to hunt down demons. There is no, difference. No matter what demon you are, you're going to be hunted down. You are an enemy of humanity. And so because of that, no matter if you're a good demon or not, you're going to be hunted. So Nezuko obviously falls into that category. And we know that Tanjiro is not going to allow that to happen. He will do everything in his power to make sure that Nezuko does not get hurt. But that's the thing, I didn't really think about that. Tanjiro's just been really lucky. He's been really lucky to meet individuals that are very compassionate and not just straight up heartless to demons. Yes, okay, to clarify, most demons, about probably, even if we're stretching it and over-exaggerating and saying 99% of demons are bad, still, there is that 1% chance that demons are nice. And so, because of that, there is some compassionate individuals, but it's rare to probably find individuals that are compassionate towards demons, because most of them are really awful individuals. So because of that, it makes sense why, most demons just need to be slaughtered on sight, because usually they'll lie or do whatever they need. But we know Nezuko. Nezuko hasn't done anything, and she is definitely different from most demons. We don't really know the reason why, but she definitely is very, very different. But, like I just said, though, most Demon Corps, they're probably going to be very heartless, because the reason why you're joining the Demon Corps is probably because you want to get vengeance. You want to get back at what Muzan and the other demons have done to you, so you're trying to bring them down. So when you see a demon, you want to get rid of them. And so, it makes sense why Shinobu in this episode was acting like the way she did, why she was wanting to take down the demon, but it then also makes me wonder about why she acted like she did in the previous episode, which I'll get into in a second. But the point I'm trying to get at is that Tanjiro has just been very lucky. He's been very, very lucky with finding individuals that have a very kind heart. When you think about Gyu, he was someone that was very kind to Tanjiro. He took mercy upon him and did not strike down Nezuko. And when you think about, the sensei, someone that taught Tanjiro, he wasn't necessarily bad either. He was someone that actually took mercy on Nezuko and Tanjiro. And so, we've seen greatness from that. We've seen people that are very compassionate and nice. But most Demon Corps are probably not like that. So, it's pretty cool to see how this plot thread that has obviously been very obvious in front of us since the very beginning, but it's finally happening. So, will Tanjiro lose his rights to be a demon slayer? Personally, I doubt it. I really do doubt it, because, the title of the series is called Demon Slayer, so I doubt he would lose those rights. However, I do think he's going to be on a strict leash, probably something very similar to how Alan Walker is from The Gray Man. If you ever actually read that series or watched it, then you know what I'm talking about, how he was kind of like on a strict leash or whatever. I'm assuming that's probably what's going to happen to Tanjiro. He's on a strict leash, and so is Nezuko, because Nezuko is a demon, so she's probably going to be monitored, and there's probably going to be someone that's going to be watching over there and make sure that she doesn't cause any problems, which I do think that it's obviously unnecessary, because we've already seen Tanjiro be completely covered in blood, and Nezuko really even hasn't reacted to it, so for her not to even react to blood, it makes you wonder now that she probably doesn't care about it anymore. She doesn't really care about blood, she just needs to rest. So yeah, also, by the way, Nezuko not completely unconscious. So that is definitely a plus. I figured after all the wounds and stuff that happened in the previous episode that Nezuko would be down for the count for a good long while, because like I said, the last time she got injured, she went into a hibernation, and it was 2 years. So she didn't really have to do that. So obviously with those 2 years that she hibernated, there's definitely something that happened or changed within her to be like she is, but that's another discussion another day. Regardless though, Tanjiro has been captured, so has Nezuko. We don't really know the fate of Nezuko, but I doubt she is dead or anything. But Tanjiro has been captured. He is kind of tied up, And I do wonder exactly what all the higher tier individual demon slayers are really going to do with him. Like, are they going to start asking him questions like, why is he carrying around a demon? Or are they already aware of what's going on? There's a lot of questions, but at the very least, we do know now that we're probably going to get to meet some really strong characters that are going to be relevant for a very long time. That probably, counteract, the 12 demon moons. So, yeah. Speaking of which, not to get off topic too far, but I do want to get into the 12 Demon Moon, the one that died in the previous episode. This episode kind of continues his story, which I did not expect to see. I figured that we weren't really going to get much backstory to him or anything, because I figured that the last episode was enough. But that clearly was not the case, because this episode starts off with a flashback and all that, showcasing where he went wrong. And this has been a common theme within Demon Slayer since the beginning. Every time a demon dies, we get to see a little bit more about them, what caused them to be like they are. And even though you could kind of tack it on and say it's a little bit cliche, it is something that is very relevant. Most people that are probably turned into demons aren't necessarily ones that wanted to be a demon. And that's kind of what we see from this depiction, is that he was born with a very weak body, he was miserable, he never really could do anything, he couldn't really get up and do anything, and his parents watched over him basically doing anything they could. And one day he was gifted the ability to walk and do things, for instance from Muzan, but he obviously became a man-eater. And because he became a man-eater, his parents, they couldn't put up with it anymore, and they wanted to take their son's life, but also their own. And they wanted to be able to move on with him. And obviously the son took it wrongly, but also because he can't necessarily die by regular blades. The only way to kill a demon is through one of a special blade, as we know, from a demon slayer. And I highly doubt they had a special blade to do that, so even if they did anything, he was just going to regenerate. So the parents, what they did, they died pointlessly, and basically he figured that the parents weren't really his parents, because Muzan came in and is like, oh, it's fine, it took great courage, encouraging him, kind of, manipulating him in a way to kind of forget about his parents and serve him indefinitely. It's kind of sad, really. And his mother's last words made him realize kind of what he lost in that moment. He cut the very thing that he wanted, what we saw him striving to make throughout the story, throughout his character introduction. He wanted true bonds. And he obviously went about it the wrong way, but he always actually just wanted to say sorry to his parents. And so when he's passing on, it actually gives us a little bit more of a clarification to kind of how this world works in Kimetsu no Yaiba, is that there is apparently a spirit realm. Because it's not the first time we've necessarily seen characters that are dead talk with the living. For instance, besides just the parents of the 12 Demon Moon that, died, we also have Nezuko, how she was kind of unconscious like a couple episodes back, and she was awakened by her mother talking to her, like, you need to save your brother, he's going to die. And then she got up and started doing something, and we've seen Tanjirou as well have, a conversation kind of with his deceased family. So when you really think about it, it isn't the first time. So it's starting to make me wonder if there is really an afterlife in this series. Like, we're going to see spirits and stuff intermingling with demons, because it's possible. I mean, this is a supernatural series, so it's really not that far-fetched, but yeah, apparently there is spirits in this series, because we have seen them quite a few times already. But okay, one thing though I do want to discuss is seeing that little confrontation between Shinobu and Giyu. Shinobu and Gyu's confrontation is something that I think is probably not something meant to happen. It's something that's very rare within the Demon, Slayers, operation, the organization, because they're supposed to work together. And most Demon Slayers are not going to intervene when a demon needs to be slayed. So, what Giyu was doing was definitely something not normal. And obviously, Shinobu picked up on that. This is definitely not something he normally does, and she was expecting an answer. Why are you doing this? Why are you acting like this? And he wasn't really giving her a proper answer, which shows that Giyu is someone that's not necessarily bright. Like, it looks like he's scatterbrained. It really looks like his character's kind of scatterbrained when you see how he was interacting with Shinobu in this episode, but he does have a level of, like, Tanjirou in him. Like, he kind of acts like Tanjirou to a certain extent. But he is someone that has shown to be incredibly powerful, and he's obviously stronger than Shinobu, at least physically, but Shinobu does seem to be faster to some degree. Now, I do wonder how this is going to affect him. I mean, is this going to compromise his job? Is he going to be removed from his position? And how does Shinobu feel about what he did for a demon? Because when we think about the previous episode, Shinobu was giving a demon an option, a way out. Basically saying, hey, you can take this torture and then you can live and all that after all these people you've harmed. And it seemed like Shinobu had a side to her where she probably was going to be okay to the demon, like allow the demon to live. But then we see how she mercilessly strikes at Nezuko, which really just starts to make you wonder, like, okay, so she clearly doesn't ask every single demon to be her friend. So that means that there is a reason for that. Either she took interest in the demon because the demon obviously had a great sins that it committed, and so she wanted to be this, the demon's friend if the demon repented, or she was just playing with the demon, lying to the demon, was never going to allow her to repent and be her friend. And the only reason why she attacked Nezuko like that was because she didn't really know what Nezuko did, so she didn't care about torturing or whatever, just getting it over with in the first place. So there's a couple of conclusions I can come to, but Shinobu's character is very interesting, and I do want to know more about her. So, I think that's about it. It's, like I said, a good episode. A lot of build-up for what's about to happen. I do wonder exactly what's going to happen to Tanjirou and Nezuko, and will he stay with his main group? Will he be able to stay with Zen? Will he be able to stay with Inosuke? There's a lot of questions I have. But let me know your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoy my content, please subscribe. If you like this video, please leave a like. And if you want to get notified for whenever I upload a video, please click the bell icon down below. And with that, Chibi out.